Despite having no class in a world of magic, Ethel had become the Thunder God Emperor, the greatest title of all time. He had spent his entire life striving to reach the pinnacle of magic, but upon discovering he had no aptitude for any class, his illness worsened, and he died. 400 years later, Ethel reincarnated into the same world. However, the world where humanity had once developed magic to reach its full potential now lay in ruins. Having just awakened from his second reincarnation, Ethel realized that the memories of his past self from centuries ago had carried over into this new body. After leaving his room, he approached a mirror. Disbelieving the situation, Ethel recalled his identity as the Thunder God Emperor. Just then, his mother arrived to shower him with affection. Though he was momentarily breathless from the shock, he joined her at the table for breakfast. A whirlwind of thoughts raced through his mind as Ethel realized he had reincarnated once more. Using the reincarnation ability granted to him by the goddess, he was now living his third life. As time passed, memories of the former Ethel began to surface. This time, he was determined to reach the pinnacle of magic in this new world. Suddenly, he had a breakthrough. A memory from the past flashed back to him. The method for brewing the magical liquid used in the aptitude test. Later, he walked dejectedly through the garden, for his aptitude test had once again revealed that, even after his second reincarnation, he still possessed no aptitude for magic whatsoever. In his past life, he had fought alongside the hero to defeat the Demon King. It was an intense battle, with Ethel and 3 other mages providing support to help the hero vanquish evil once and for all. Ultimately, the 4 mages succeeded in their task, allowing the hero to defeat the fearsome Demon King. Days later, the capital celebrated the great victory. The king acknowledged the 4 mages as great heroes for helping defeat the forces of evil. He congratulated them all and, before the entire kingdom, bestowed the title of Emperor upon the 4 of them. Ethel could hardly believe what he was hearing. In this world, the title of Emperor was reserved for those of noble blood, yet, here he was, a mere commoner being granted that very title. The king congratulated Ethel, declaring that from then on, he would be known as the Thunder God Emperor. Tears streamed down Ethel's face. He had finally gained the recognition he had always dreamed of, and the 4 emperors were met with thunderous applause from the crowd. Some time later, Ethel stood in a field, gazing out at the devastated landscape, lost in thought, until Merlin approached to tell him breakfast was ready. Afterward, Ethel was teaching magic to a group of children. When a boy lost his focus, Ethel corrected him, noting that he wouldn't be able to maintain the magic circle at that rate. Finally, Ethel called a halt to the current exercise, preparing to move on to the next one. Merlin interrupted, asking for a break, but Ethel refused, insisting he wasn't tired. However, a memory surfaced, finding a dead demon woman clutching a baby, caught in the battle's crossfire, and he realized that while she might not remember, he was the man she was destined to take revenge upon. The little girl's expression moved him. He suggested they simply review level 4 techniques, but Merlin insisted on moving to level 6. The others disagreed, feeling unprepared, but she argued that she needed to learn faster than everyone else, because she was Ethel's chief disciple. Later, Merlin ventured into the forest alone, determined to prove her powers. As she delved deeper into the woods, her fear mounted at the sounds of various monsters lurking nearby. She arrives at a cave inhabited by a terrifying monster. Merlin is determined to defeat it to prove herself to her master, as she wants to take over teaching magic from Ethel while he is ill. Shortly after entering, she is forced to flee the monster's wrath after it wakes up, her level 4 magic having failed. But the determined girl risks using wind magic. The incantation takes an eternity to complete, and the monster closes in just as she finishes casting the spell against it. The magic sound echoes through the forest, and the young girl rejoices at her success. But the spell fails to harm the creature, which strikes her with a massive blow. It seemed like the end for Merlin. There was nothing left for her to do, when suddenly the god of thunder arrives and strikes the creature. He is furious with the girl for her recklessness, and begins to lecture her right then and there. But the monster reappears. This time, Eftel unleashes a level 10 lightning spell, giving the creature no chance. The magic illuminates everything, and Merlin simply marvels at her master's power. That night in their room, she was still reeling from her master's power. When Eftel began coughing up blood due to his illness, Merlin noticed immediately, and realized that was the reason she wanted to grow strong as quickly as possible. Eftel finally understood why his disciple was pushing herself so hard, and Merlin spoke up, telling him to leave everything to her. All he needed to do was rest and look after his health. However, Eftel stood up, insisting he had no time to waste. He needed to prepare his successor soon. His lifelong goal had been to become the strongest in the world. After all, when one learns magic, one aims for the summit, yet he felt he would never reach the pinnacle of magical mastery. Merlin disagreed, pointing out that this wasn't true. He was the god of thunder and had effortlessly used tier 10 magic just that day. Yet, Eftel felt frustrated when comparing himself to the other emperors. He was the only one who had been afraid during the battle against the Demon King. Days later, one of his students called out to him, bringing a theory regarding magical aptitude developed by the Flame Emperor. Eftel found it hard to believe at first, but upon reading the letter, he understood everything. While determining magical aptitude in their world was usually considered impossible, there was a method. By taking a person's hair and dipping it into a special magical water, the liquid would glow the color of the element with which the person was compatible. An intense glow indicated S-rank aptitude for that element, while a lack of glow meant rank B or lower. Upon testing Merlin, Eftel discovered she was S-rank in both wind and water, an astonishing result that shocked everyone except Eftel. He realized that Merlin would become incredibly powerful thanks to her demonic heritage, but this posed a danger to the young girl. The academy taught students all elements until they found their best fit, and discovering a young woman with S-rank aptitude in 2 elements would cause a massive commotion. Now it is Eftel's turn to be the test subject. Merlin objects, arguing it is unnecessary since Eftel is already the Emperor of Thunder. However, the students are eager to witness Master Eftel's aptitude. Eftel himself is curious, wanting to know if he truly possesses the potential to reach the pinnacle of magic, something he has yet to achieve. A lock of his hair is cut and placed into the test vials. As this happens, he reflects on how he has always worked harder than anyone else in his quest for magical mastery. They wait for a reaction, but nothing happens. None of the vials glow. Consulting the theory, a young boy notes that if the liquid remains colorless or transparent, it indicates a lack of aptitude, a conclusion the class finds impossible to believe. Eftel insists on retrying the test, but no matter how many times he tries, no color appears. Eftel is baffled until he realizes the truth. He had always been the slowest to learn magic. He had only managed to surpass the other emperors through tireless effort. He lacked the innate potential to reach the true peak of magic, which is why he had always felt a step behind the others. The realization leaves Eftel overcome with distress and despair. Later, Merlin tries to offer him water, but Eftel locks himself in his room, resigned to his death. He weeps out of shame for having chased the impossible, 50 years of dedication to magic, only to end up as someone with no talent. Suddenly, he is transported to another plane, and meets the goddess who had originally reincarnated him into this world. She offers him the chance to choose 2 bonus abilities for his next reincarnation, but Eftel refuses all such buffs. All he asks is to be reincarnated with all his existing magical knowledge intact. For him, having the time to start over armed with the know-how of what to do is enough to reach the top. So, for 100 years in the future, all the vials were colorless once again, and Eftel wondered if he would truly manage to reach the top. However, a dragon suddenly flew past him. Realizing the dragon was in a frenzy, young Eftel gave chase to save the city from destruction. Subduing the dragon would have been possible had he been at his peak, but now, He was merely a child. He lamented not having asked to be reborn with the ability to cast spells. However, with a wave of his hand, he managed to create the magic circle for his original level 10 spell, obliterating the dragon in a single blow, realizing that his 4-year-old self had been reborn with the magical power he possessed at the peak of his strength. Comment Mage if you want the next part of this video, subscribe to get more, and I'll see you in the next video.